welcome back to the Who Am I podcast. I am Dom.
What's up, Steven?
That's Brady over there. He always asks why I introduce him. That's why I gave him the opportunity. He didn't seize it. Anyways, here we are. It is Holy Week here in the United States and in whatever country you might be listening to. It is Holy Week. And so Easter's coming up. Jesus is going to walk on out of the grave. Katie is in Spain. And so stay tuned for a Camino de Santiago Volume 2. But Katie, we're thinking about you. We love you. We're so thankful for you.
How you doing? It's good to record again. It's, I guess when this comes out and when people listen, because we go a little bit ahead with our episodes, like it probably is like, what are they talking about? You guys are recording every week, but we kind of took a little hiatus, did a little bit of traveling. Dom and I went to Boston. Dom took this back to Charleston.
They used the same bricks in everything, and I just thought it was really cool. And so they had everywhere we would go, there's just like stacks of bricks, and they all had this same indentation on them. And so I was like, that'd be a cool keepsake. And so I walked right in front of a cop when we were about to pull out. Took one of these loose bricks off the ground. There's like thousands of them everywhere. Probably millions of them. Anyways, we got a Boston keepsake. It's a brick.
And now it's a part of the podcast set. So if that cop in Boston who saw Dom take it, it's okay. It's a part of the set now.
I hope there's no legal consequence for me taking a brick from Boston. Boston, if you want that brick
back. We'll ship it.
Yeah, or I'll pay for it. But yeah, I took a brick off of the streets of Boston.
It's a Boston brick.
Yeah. But yeah, I know it's been a month. It's been a month since we've recorded our last episode. For anyone out there listening, following along. So it does feel good to be back.
Yeah.
There's a little bug flying around me. It's on my mic.
Is it another mosquito?
No, this one's a no-see-em.
Wait, but then how do you see it?
Because keep going.
In Charleston, we have these things called no-see-ems, and basically you'll like be walking through a park or a field and you won't see them, and you get home and you got bit by like 12 mosquitoes.
How are you? I don't think
I'm good. Like, I was just talking about no-see-em.
Yeah. I think, how are you doing? What's going on in your life?
I'm doing good. What do you want to know?
Fill us in. What's happened the last month?
Oh, wow. Well, okay. I met a girl.
Oh.
Oh, boy. What's funny, I was thinking about this. I was like, if I talk about it on here, like, it might be a while till these episodes come out. But yeah, we're official boyfriend, girlfriend. I honestly didn't know if I would talk about this or not yet. So I don't know if I should necessarily say her name.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Okay.
And I didn't expect you to share or not share. I did know that. But congratulations.
She's a girl.
It is a woman.
It is a woman.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
it's been my first experience of dating someone who is Christian, and really she's very, very strong in her Christian values and what she believes and how she walks it out in her life. And so it's just a totally different way of approaching a relationship that I've never really done before. So um, I respect her so much, and um, she has a lot of grace for me and for others, and she's beautiful inside and out, very kind, very disciplined, hard worker. Um, she's really funny, silly, and it's been really great getting to know her. So I told her we'll eventually get her on here too. But
What has been the hardest part of glorifying God in a relationship so far?
mm, I think when you get a good thing, like a good gift from God, say a relationship, um, you can quickly idolize that relationship or that person. And I think for me, I have to just constantly remind myself of like who gave me that gift, that I don't have, she is my girlfriend now, but it's not like I have possession of her. Like, we're choosing to show each other love each day, and it's not like I can't control whether she does that back to me or not, and vice versa. So I think surrendering that, like, because it is a good thing, so it's subtle, your love for a person or an activity or whatever it is in your life, like, it can quickly become something that you are putting above God, or thinking more about that person than, spending time with God. And so that's been a little challenging, because in the past I've like made whoever I was dating or in love with like my God of sorts, and like been so scared to lose them. Like, that would be my greatest fear. Like, I don't want to lose that person. So like really holding tightly that grip.
I think thank you for that. That's a beautiful answer. Um, and I think it's like a daily surrender. That thing that you said is so subtle and it creeps up on you. It's something that you do have to consciously decide. And that's why I live my quiet time in the morning, but like consciously deciding that this person or this thing is not going to mean more to me than God. They can never love me as much as God, and I want to love God more than I love this person thing. And so, how do you think you find that line where it gets to be close, or if you catch yourself stepping over that line, how do you think you become aware of that?
Mm, it's a good question. I'm just gonna be raw and real. There was like a few days where I just noticed like I wasn't doing my quiet time in the routine I had set up. So I was still talking to God throughout the day, but I wasn't spending time in the Word in the morning or at night. And I remember I just noticed it, and it was like subtle, but I noticed it, and then didn't really shame myself. In the last couple days, I've been getting back into the Word again. So um, I think maybe like tuning into what your spirit is saying, because I get so much peace when I'm in the Word, and it's a lot easier to surrender something to God when I'm spending time with God. But when I'm not, quickly things can start to feel more chaotic or more um, like just go go go, where I'm not as peaceful in life.
I think it's a really good answer, and I think that answer is going to look different for anyone. One thing you said that I love, though, you find so much peace in the Word, and I feel like for me in the past, it's almost the subtlety is trading that peace that you get from the Word for the peace that you get from a person. When we're speaking about relationships, at least. And so thinking that this person can give me just as much or more peace than God can. And so, like, just subtly relying on God less and relying on this person a little bit more every day. And it doesn't just necessarily have to be peace. It could be wisdom. It could be love in whatever way, shape, or form that person's giving it to you. But the subtle less dependence on God and more dependence on this person is what like creeps up on you. So I'm also proud of you for recognizing that, because it is the subtle things are the ones that, at least for me, can be the scariest, just because they build up over time and they're not always easy to be aware of.
Right. Especially when it's like me and her both love God and like want to put God first in our life. But we also really enjoy spending time with each other. And so, yeah, it's like I even talked to her recently about like us reading the Word together, and like we haven't done how you did your staring thing. Down does this water bottle thing.
They know. You don't have to
Okay.
explain it.
I don't know. Maybe this is someone's first episode listening. So, welcome to the.
You and her do this
show.
thing where you talk about reading the Word.
Yeah, no, I just brought it up recently because I thought of that as like we've prayed together so far. We've gone to church together a couple times so far. But I thought of that. I was like, I love reading the Word, and like that could be cool to read the Word together. So, just to kind of bring it back though, like my faith will not be hers and vice versa, but like to the things that we enjoy about our faith, explore those things together too.
That's good. What do you think you've learned the most? Like, what has she taught you about God, about yourself? Yeah, through being in that relationship that maybe you wouldn't have learned elsewhere.
Already a couple of times there's been situations where past Brady would drink and get in an argument and just kind of self-sabotage certain things, and all because Brady was like embarrassed or his pride was kind of checked, like, oh, this kind of bruised my ego, so now I'm gonna cause a fuss, cause a fit. And there's been a few times like that already where just I've had to really question, like, why did that make me embarrassed? Or because it's a very vulnerable thing to have your heart exposed to someone, or to keep kind of unveiling parts of your heart to them. It's not easy to do. I think it's shown me how much healing I really had to go through and how much I still have to go through. And it's just, it's not an easy thing. And like, there's certain times where I think my fears of getting hurt again want to just put the walls up, you know. And I have to ask myself, is this something within myself, or is this something she's doing? And most of the time so far, it's just been something inside that I have to deal with God. But it's tough. It's tough. It's really tough.
Before we move on, I do want to say that it has just been so beautiful and encouraging watching you and hearing you talk about her and talk about your relationship and the ways that it's glorifying God and the ways that you are leading with clarity and kindness and love and gentleness and growing yourself and helping her grow. It's just been beautiful to hear about and to witness. Yeah. And so thank you for being that example to me and to anyone else who sees it.
Thank you, bro. I love you.
Love you. Okay. Continuing on. We will definitely talk about her more at some other point in time. But your family came to town. Brady has a new member of his family, and then last month too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so my sister Carly, she had her second child about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, a little over 2 weeks ago. Her name is Daphne. Daphne Rose, I believe, is her middle name. And yeah, I was fighting a little bit of a cold the day before she was brought into this world. And so the day she was born, I couldn't go to the hospital and meet her, but was able that weekend to go meet her. And it was funny. I like wondered if I would cry like when I was holding her. But I didn't, but I cried on the way to see her. And it just like, I think the word I kept thinking about was just precious. She just, I mean, I've had 4 nephews and this is my first niece. And yeah, she was just so precious holding her in my arms. And even today I got to hold her and she was having hiccups, and like even just having like watching her go through hiccups, I like thought she was like having a breathing issue or something. I was like, oh my gosh, like Daphne, I hope you're okay. But yeah, I mean, just to watch my sister pregnant for so many months and then getting she's gonna laugh when I say this, but getting so big, like she's about to pop. And then to just like see this baby that comes out and it's like it literally looks perfect. It's like it's got all the features, like the little fingers and the hair. And I was just like, yeah, it never gets old to meet one of my nephew or nieces. And it's like, I know their first time is very difficult for them to have my nephew. And just like how Daphne came into the world a little unexpected of them, just like, wow, we don't have to go through this process we went through the first time. It's just beautiful. And yeah, it's always a gift. So
yeah, I know I told them both in person, but Adam and Carly, congratulations. So beautiful. And I hope they see the miracle. I know that they do, that Daphne is. But yeah, through that, it's my first time meeting Adam, your brother-in-law. And I know he listens a lot to this. And so Adam, shout out Adam.
Let's go.
But yeah, it was so awesome meeting him. And yeah, the man that he is, one thing that just really struck me about him was he's so curious, and he's very aware of everything happening around him. And I like to think that I'm similar in that way. And so it's just really cool, and had some great conversations with him. And yeah, Adam, you're an awesome dude. You're being an awesome dad. You already are an awesome dad. But yeah, congratulations to you guys. One thing I want to say, just because it was something that I kind of talked to God a lot about in my quiet time, talking about Daphne and a new life in this world, is innocence. And had a little conversation with you in the car, but one thing that I personally kind of came to in my mind was innocence isn't taken from us. It's not like it's something that is removed. And so just thinking of Daphne being brought into this world with like perfect innocence, I like to view innocence as unashamed expression. That's kind of a working definition in my mind of innocence. And when I think of Daphne, or I think of like just little toddlers who haven't been hurt by the world or taught the world's view of things, they aren't ashamed to ask a question. They aren't ashamed to cry if something hurts. They aren't ashamed to laugh if something's joyful. And through time, we get conditioned by the world that you can't ask that question because you're dumb. You come off as dumb if you ask that question. Or you can't cry because crying is weak and you come off as weak. Or you can't laugh because when you laugh, this other person feels bad because they're not having as much joy as you. And so we get conditioned by this world that I can't express those things that I really do feel. And so I don't think that the innocence actually leaves. I think we put it on a back shelf in our mind, and we become ashamed if we authentically express those parts of ourselves. And so when I think of a child, to go even deeper on the point that I was talking about, they're not afraid. They're not afraid of anything, of people. And you and I kind of touched on this in one of our conversations. Well, we have instinctual fears, which would be things like if I'm standing at the edge of a cliff, I have a little fear that if I jump off, I'll get hurt, which is an instinct. And God programmed us that way because if I jump off of that cliff, I'm probably going to get hurt. And so that's for my benefit. But when I say fears, I mean things, just for example, speaking in public, starting a new job, financial fears, relational fears. There's countless fears. And when we come into the world, we don't have those. And it's not that they're non-existent. It's that we have this wondrous curiosity and innocence and faith that whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen. And the world conditions us not to believe that. And in that, it's an exchange of hope. And as my innocence gets put higher and higher on the bookshelf in my mind, I'm giving hope that I once had to all of these fears around me. And this is one thing, because I historically have struggled with expression of emotions. I feel them, and that was step one, was learning how to process and feel those things. A step towards healing. But when it comes to expressing them, I don't even know how, or I'm learning how. But starting from ground zero, Like, I don't know what it looks like to express excitement or express joy. Sadness, anger, I think is one that I don't want to feel because I don't know how to express it, but it's a healthy thing to feel, and it's a healthy thing to express when expressed the right way. And so I'm just very hesitant about expressing those things. However, as that innocence gets moved higher and higher in my mind, and I become more and more ashamed to express these things, whether it's curiosity, joy, sadness, I'm giving hope to the fear rather than my faith. And so the hope starts when I come into this world. Hope starts with me. I have all of the hope. None of these fears that the world is going to teach me have any of that hope.
Right.
But as I grow up, this world conditions me that I should be afraid of that thing. And I should fear being in this situation. And I should fear that person. And so I'm giving all of my hope away to all of these fears. And then healing, for me, a big part of it is taking that hope back from those fears. The hope that was originally mine that I now gave to all of the fears in my life. I want to take that hope back. And as I take that hope back, I remember what my innocence was when I was Daphne and I was just getting brought into the world. When I was a 2-3-year-old boy running around doing what 2 and 3-year-old boys do. That kind of curiosity, that kind of joy, even that kind of sadness, like no one had taught me what I'm supposed to act like when I'm sad. And that was completely genuine and authentic sadness. If it was anger, it was anger. If it was joy, it was joy. And as we take that hope back from all of these fears that we have, I learned to do that more. And so that led me to this thought, and I've been sitting with this all week, but that would make hope the currency of spiritual warfare. Meaning, I have faith and I have fears. And let's say they are each a wallet. Then what is exchanged between my faith and my fears is that hope. And whose hands is it in? Is it in fear or is it in my faith? Because when I am holding on to that hope, my faith gets stronger. And those fears have absolutely no power over me. But when that fear is holding on to that currency, which is hope, that fear, I am giving it power over me. And the only way to take that back, that I have learned, and that I believe might be the only way, is through God. Is God teaching me that, well, you're the one who gave that fear that hope when I'm the one who gave it to you in the first place. And so that hope is all yours to have. It's not up to that fear to hold that hope. And as I learn that, I overcome those fears and I express things more innocently and more genuinely and authentically. And so, yeah, just as Daphne being brought into this world, I think about like protecting the innocence of a child and what that actually means. And it's encouraging the unashamed expression. I'm not saying enabling, and I'm not saying give kids whatever they want. That's not what I'm saying, but protecting that innocence. Like, no question's a dumb question.
Yeah. And you're allowed to feel the way you're feeling about something.
Yeah. And I think I was just taught so young that like, I can't feel anything. The world's mean, the world's cruel. And if you show it that you're feeling something, then you're weak and it's going to walk all over you. But like, there's strength, there's power in feeling authentically and even letting those feelings lead you towards the correct action to take. Anyways, yeah. And so protecting Daphne and other children's innocence, and for me, myself, a lot of my healing journey is returning to who I was when I was that child, before I put up these walls to protect my expression.
That's good. I think you could look at it even just like one slight example is, and it's not necessarily a fear, but maybe like a parent wanting something for their child. So they kind of steer or force that child into that thing, maybe a career or a sport that they like to play, as opposed of like watching the child and seeing what they naturally gravitate towards. It made me think of that. It also made me think of like the more you put something or someone over God, the more power that person or thing has over you. And it made me think of the story. I don't know. I was trying to find it. I don't know where it is. But about Jesus, like they're forced to walk a mile, and he like encourages them to walk another mile. Do you? I don't want to. I don't have the scripture up right now, so I don't want to get it wrong. But do you know that story pretty good?
I don't know it enough to say it on here.
Okay. Just Google it, look it up. But moral of the story is very similar to, someone hits you on one cheek, present the other cheek to them. It's saying like, look, you can hit me, you can make me walk another mile, but I get to choose how I respond. I have power in that response. So I'm going to go another mile, or I'm going to give you the other cheek. It takes that power away from that person. And there is power in unashamed expression and not being ashamed of how you feel or what you like to do in life, what you like to wear, how you like to talk, things like that. Yeah.
And it makes me think too, like, how often do I look at someone else's unashamed expression and even I judge it? And even I am over here like, that person talks funny, or that person dresses funny, or whatever it is. And I don't want to be the reason that someone else has to hide part of who they are, or feels like they need to hide part of who they are. I don't want to be the reason that someone else puts their innocence on a shelf in their mind and thinks that they cannot authentically express themselves. And so my view of the world, I want it to be so open, rather than like, the way that I do things is how you have to do things. That's just not true. Some kids, when they get super sad, they'll just go sit and be quiet and look at a tree. Some will wail and scream at the top of their lungs. And there are differences. There are differences in what that authentic expression looks like. And I don't want to be the reason that someone believes that they can't express themselves in any healthy way.
That's good. Has there been like an experience in your life where you noticed a lot of unashamed expression around you, like an environment where that just comes to mind of like, wow, there's a lot of people just being authentically themselves?
The first thing that comes to mind is like a kindergarten classroom. Where you have a room full of people who are not ashamed to stand up and blurt out a question that they have in the middle of class, that aren't ashamed to look at their friend and say, hey, that really hurt when you pushed me down on the mulch. Like when you have those kids who they haven't been conditioned by the world to act or say or do anything beyond what is authentically being felt. And so
That's good.
I think like a kindergarten classroom is a place where you see that. I don't know if I've seen it in like a group setting where every member of the group or party was all doing it. I would say like church would be maybe the closest for adults, but I know that there's so many people in there that are not authentically being themselves too.
Still holding back a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's true. Just as you become adults, some people will heal, some won't, and you're gonna have both parties in the same room.
That's good. Made me think. I think I've shared this on here before, but like, just like almost like brutal honesty. Like now in my life, I appreciate and respect brutal honesty. It might sting, it might burn, but I'd rather have that than someone who's being fake, not being real. And over time, that starts to unveil itself. And it's just like, this wasted a lot of time, you know? But in 7th grade, I was like boyfriend, girlfriend with this girl for like, maybe it was a little over a week, you know, those types of relationships. And she broke up with me like first day of school. And it was first, like, I think her friend who was like, hey, she wants to come talk to you over here. Can you talk to her before class? And I was like, yeah. And all my friends were around. And she just said to me, she's like, it's funny to say now. She just said, I never liked you. And that was it. And all my friends were around and heard it. And I was so embarrassed. But I mean, looking back on it, like, it was honest. And, you know, I'm not going to judge it either way. But like, you've talked about this too, like hitting on girls. You buy them a drink, and like your intention could be that you are trying to go home with this girl or sleep with this girl, and like say that. Don't say like, hey, can I buy you a drink, and be all smooth about it. And I just wonder if that could also be a little bit tied into the unashamed expression, is just like being brutally honest because you're not fearful of oh, will that hurt this person too much, me saying this? It's kind of like ripping off a Band-Aid, you know? Just rip it off. When you just like do it slowly, especially now I got like leg hair and stuff. I don't know why I went straight to the Band-Aids on the leg, but I run a lot, so maybe that's why. But like, you just rip it off. It hurts when you go slower. It's like, ah. What do you think about this being part one? And then we go on to a part two. We're like pretty much at 42.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank y'all for listening to this part of the episode. If you want to keep listening, we're about to roll into part two.
Peace.
We love y'all.